Retro. 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 Retro.
this ultimate poise, like I've been had it figured out. Nah, I just didn't quit. That's the only distinguishing quality from me and probably whoever else going through this, went through this, or is gonna go through.
Hello, everybody. Give me one sec here. Who's all in here today? All right. Consent 2K, YKD Music. Wow, why did I say that so weird? Bufo, Tiger Backwoods. Okay, that's a good one. Chris Kane, Menny's, Click, A6 Giddy, Management, NWO. How do you find that beat? That's actually in the BeatStars live playlist, and I can't remember off the top of my head what it's called, but it's the beat right after the one that was made by Retro One. So you can scroll through that and find it. Eighth Life, Triple Beats. All right. Hi. Hey guys, how's everyone doing? Welcome back to The Deal. Gonna start with an announcement for you. So you can make sure to tune in on Tuesday, September 14th for Battle of the Type Beats. This upcoming matchup will be Drake versus Kanye West Type Beats. So we'll hear beats from both sides, ultimately deciding who sits on the throne, and make sure you submit your beats at beatstars.world/opportunities. I know a lot of y'all were in the chat when I was doing the show asking how you could submit, but you know, that's how. beatstars.world/opportunities. Okay, and as you know, this is The Deal. Welcome back. I'm Tia. I'm the Music Opportunities Manager here at BeatStars. And if you're new to The Deal, we are highlighting our BeatStars publishing roster. BeatStars Publishing is a partnership between BeatStars and Sony Music Publishing, who are the #1 global music publisher in the world. So if you're interested in finding out more information, including how you can sign up for BeatStars Publishing, you can head over to beatstars.com/publishing. And don't forget to follow at BeatStars Publishing for some free industry game and to get better acquainted with some of the talented producers on our roster. This week we're hanging out with Kae Cash, but if you want to rewatch this interview, you can check it out later alongside all of our past shows and BeatStars content, including tutorials on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/officialbeatstars. Don't forget to subscribe to be notified of new uploads and ting. All right, so without further ado, let's bring in our friend Kae Cash. Hello.
Hi everybody.
Welcome to The Deal.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Yes, ma'am. And as I said before, you are one of I think the third female producer that I get to speak to on this show since I've started doing it. So I'm really excited. So guys, say hello to Kae Cash, introduce yourselves, get acquainted.
Hi guys. You'll be seeing more of us females in this form real soon.
Period. Well, let's check in. Tell me, let's start your earliest days of music. Where did you first start, and how did you get into the game?
Well, I first started when I was 7. I actually went to my mom one day and I was like, I actually want to play the harp, which is really random. And she was like, I know someone who plays the harp and it's kind of expensive. My mom was a single mom, so it wasn't any money for harp. So I started on the piano when I was 7, and I took piano lessons up until the time I was like 14. And then I got introduced to the oboe when I was 11 years old, actually. So I started doing that and went on to high school to be in marching band. And I started producing beats probably about 4 years ago when I was like 21, 20.
Oh, that's it. Sorry, I thought I was just nodding and listening. So when you decided to start producing, how did you make that switch?
I've always been a lover of music, and I am from Memphis, Tennessee, which, if all of y'all probably know, that's a big music hub. So I always loved just riding around as a little girl in the backseat, listening to all the big thumping trucks with their basses and everything going crazy. So I always had a love for rap music. And once I started hearing certain beats, I felt like I could make them. So I kind of just started playing around with Fruity Loops, and I actually could make them. So I figured that I would take it a little bit more seriously since I have the music background that I have been exposed to my whole life, I realized that once I was like, I think I can actually do this. And then once I realized all the background that I have, I'm like, okay, I can see how I can be successful with this. So here I am.
You are. And yeah, so you're a multi-instrumentalist and you're a producer, you're also an artist yourself. And I love talking about that dynamic and how you're able to like interchange or make things make sense as an artist or a producer because you have these two lenses. So how do you find that you're able to, intertwine those two worlds into one?
That's a good question. Actually, now that I've started writing as an artist, it's kind of hard sometimes to just make beats that I'm supposed to send to other people because I have an idea for my own self that I would like to do, and no one knows your vision except for you. So it's sometimes when I really feel compelled that I feel like, okay, no, this is what needs to be on this beat. I'll keep it for myself. It kind of just depends. It's kind of hard to like pinpoint exactly what it is, but usually it starts off with me like sequencing the beat after I upload it and bounce it and everything. I freestyle. Like it'll just be playing in the background and I accidentally come up with a couple lines and I'm like, hold on, I can keep writing to that. So that's kind of usually how they intersect. It's never usually on purpose, but it just kind of happens.
Right. And I was looking through your page. I don't know if I actually saw any. I don't think I did, but have you ever considered like uploading a beat with a hook for sale?
I have been thinking about that recently.
Yeah.
I have not yet, but yeah, that's a good idea.
I think when I was playlisting, I think when I would work on the beats with hook playlist that we have, I think that was my most fun thing to work on because obviously hearing fire beats is really cool, but when you hear like a piece of a vision,
Definitely,
it changes everything. And I found some of my favorite singer-songwriters just off of the hooks that they've uploaded to the platform. So I think, if anything, it might be a really cool avenue for you, especially being that you produce for yourself and you always have those visions, or you would have those visions.
Yeah, and now that you say that, a lot of the times what kind of prompts my writing sessions when I do write to my own productions is the name of the beat, actually. Like a lot of the times the name of it gives me an avenue to go into that can open up my mind to make it make sense of what the beat is doing.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you,
T. You never know, you might end up like, especially if it's hard for you to give away a beat for somebody else, at least know that you're steering them in the right direction of what you want to hear on it. Like it's a little less key, but whatever. So let's talk about how you got started with BeatStars. How did you find us and how did you end up becoming part of the family?
Well, I was actually talking to one of my peers and we were talking about how it's just really difficult sometimes. I was frustrated with my early producing career, how I would go through all this work. Somebody would hit me up for some beats and they would say what they want. I would make it. I would send them a snippet and I would never hear from them again. So what he suggested was, well, how about you go to BeatStars? They actually have a similar forum like that. It's like a marketplace. All these producers are in like a hub. You upload all your beats there, and they don't even have to contact you if they actually want to buy them. And I'm like, really? And he was like, yeah, it's a really good idea. Blah blah blah. You can either pay for your monthly subscription or you don't have to. Whatever. And I looked into it from there on, and I was sold because it was so many instances that I would actually have these connections with these people and I would think that I was going somewhere. And I don't even think it was all the time personal. Most of the time it probably was not because we all get busy and do things, you know how that goes. And I would just never get back in contact with them or they would, or vice versa. And it's really helped propel me to just be able to sell my beats more. It's so much easier to just send a link instead of like having to compile all these files and possibly send different snips. And then, it can be really tedious. And that it helped me to become a member of BeatStars. I became a monthly subscriber. And it was just really easy for me to get my music out there on wide ranges of platforms instead of just one person as well.
Yeah, I think that's the purpose of BeatStars is really to eliminate like that confusion or that cluster. And it's also just another avenue that, you don't have to think about it. It operates in your sleep really. Well, you do have to think about it. You do have to put some work into it to get
right. But after that, it's like smooth sailing.
It's there and it's a tool for sure.
Absolutely.
What made you want to sign with BeatStars Publishing? Like, what did that conversation look like for you?
That's funny because when I tell people this, I often say, when I first got the email, I thought it was spam, and I really did. I didn't open it. I looked at it and I was like, yeah, right, whatever. Everybody knows who BeatStars are, so I don't know how legit this is.
Mhm.
But I got an email from an A&R on you guys' team about, having a conversation and possibly discussing publishing.
Mhm.
Um, I was not aware that BeatStars had a publishing section at this point. And
Mhm.
I was like, okay, well, let me see what that's about, see what's going on. I realized that you guys had a partnership with Sony,
Mhm.
and that pretty much like sold me, on top of the fact that if you just are active in your BeatStars as a consumer or producer, however you do it, you notice that it's a very tight knit community and people have gotten to where they want to be career wise through BeatStars. So I felt like that it was very cohesive and it made sense for what I was trying to do. On top of the fact that I've always wanted to be like a major female, whatever I decide to do. So it's harder because I'm not the only one who's doing what I'm doing, but I was definitely honored that you guys reached out to me, being the platform that you are and what my vision is. I felt like they went hand to hand. So I was like, it would make sense for me to sign to them. I don't know why I would not. So
Mhm.
I'm so glad I did.
Well, you're here, and we're blessed to have
Yay!
you. You're speaking about this, like your overall goal. You just want to be like a big power player. What is your I don't want to say end result because that kind of eliminates your opportunity to like expand. But right
Right.
now, what is like the pinnacle for you? What are you trying to achieve?
Right now, I am actually in the midst of working on an EP. So all the songs on there are produced by me except for one.
Wow.
So I'm trying to just put all of my talents out there so people can know that I can songwrite and I can produce and I can sing and I can rap. So that they can know that I can be of whatever assistance that people need. And I feel like in order to prove myself to do that, I have to do that through my own artistry.
Mhm.
So that's kind of what I'm trying to do to, gotta put the word out there, the APB out, like, hey, I'm here, for whatever you might need. So right now I'm kind of working on my artistry, my mixtape. It's gonna be called Feelings, the EP. I actually that song is out on all platforms now by Kae Cash. It's just like how it's spelled on here on all platforms. I have a Beats mixtape out. And I actually just shot a video for my other single called HBIC, and make sure you download that as well. It's on all platforms. That should be out by the end of the month, and my EP should be rolling out in early October. So that's what I've been working on right now. Just trying to make it all make sense and stay grounded and
Mhm.
whatever enough so it doesn't seem all jumbled and it makes sense that I'm trying to do a complete picture,
Yes, ma'am. I'm trying to
Mhm.
drop your track in the chat here so everybody could go check this out.
Yeah, child.
There's the link to the video, y'all. So if you want to check that out
Wanna
after
check
the
me
interview,
out?
of course, stay here in the meantime. But yeah, I think that's really amazing, and I think that you're in such a unique position where you get to just play all these roles, and that's one of my personal favorite things is like I never want to have to stick to one thing. I want to be able to do
Absolutely.
as much as I can and as much that piques my interest. So just like you being able to play between being a songwriter, a producer, a singer, like if you want to rap, you can do all of
Yeah.
it. There's no box for you. So I think that's
Yes.
dope. You mentioned earlier like this difficulty in like you'd send out a snippet and not hear back or whatever. I'd love to hear about some of your challenges and what you do to kind of eliminate them or make them easier for yourself.
Shout out to BeatStars. Y'all have definitely made that liaison thing like not even a thing anymore, because it'd be the strangest thing that these people would reach out to me and ask for beats because they've seen maybe something that I've done on social media. And I would thoroughly ask them these questions. When you rap, who do you compare yourself to artistry wise, so I can get a feel for the tempo and the type of style that they would like to do. They would answer those questions, give me a type, even send a type beat, like a beat similar to this, like, no, I like this song with Dirk on there, da da da. And I'll be like, okay, cool. And I'll make the beats, send them a snip and not hear anything. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. So moving forward, I was like, I actually, if people, it's weird because the more I've noticed that people want to talk, it seems like the less serious they are. So it's like, you know what? Here's my link. I'm on BeatStars. I got all types of beats on there. If you're really serious about that, here's my link. I got all types of beats on there. I actually have some that are not on there. So if it's other things that you would like to hear, just let me know and we can go from there. And it's definitely helped with not wasting my times first and foremost, and definitely not their time, because a lot of times I don't even think they know that they are wasting their own time until they don't ever hit me back, and it's like, okay. But it has definitely helped just cut out all the middlemen, all the people who aren't serious. It helps people they can go see for themselves. You know what I'm saying? As far as what type of producer I am, if they even want to work with me, because they might think that they want to, and then they end up I'm not a good fit for them. And you can look at my whole repertoire to figure that out. And BeatStars definitely helps a lot in that aspect.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. It's so funny. You find a lot of people like want to do business until it's time to work. And it's like, I can't take another Zoom.
As soon as you start talking about the money,
yep, exactly.
Everybody disappears. And it's like, okay, well, you can just go on BeatStars.
Yeah. And it's the other thing too, where it's like, everybody's in this realm where they're trying to like grow. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people think that they can just side with people who are also growing and not have to like pay or put in any energy or whatever that looks like. So
absolutely.
Pivoting to sending your link, that's exactly what it is. It's like a portfolio, so it's a solid play. What about when it comes to like the networking of things, and what about if it's a situation where it's like you really actually want to work with this person? I love to talk about how people network and like some key like tips or learnings. So if you have any that you might be able to share, please feel free.
For sure. Now we always have to remember that everybody has a choice to do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
So all that being said, I feel like the best thing that you can really do is build genuine relationships with these people that you want to work with. Actually get to know them, because just like they may want to work with you, maybe they change their mind. Maybe as you get to know them, you may do the same thing, and it could not be a good fit for you. I just recommend really getting to know these people. Be genuine. Don't cloud chase. Just be yourself, like because people, that feels weird when it's not genuine, and we all have that internal radar was like, okay, this feels a little bit weird. So just be yourself. Try to build genuine relationships with these people. Reach out as much as you can. After a while, if it just gets impossible, because I've had that happen to me too, when I was really trying to communicate with an artist, and he just did not say anything back, and I was like, well, all right, I guess it's just not supposed to happen. So just use a balance of like your intuition and what you really know how to do, your networking as far as what you can do, and go to the moon from there. Honestly.
I'm really happy you said intuition. I feel like that's one of my favorite personal superpowers.
Yes.
And tapping into like so tapping into what your gut tells you off rip is like, that will make or break a lot of things, because a lot of people go against their intuition, like, no, I'm gonna chase this regardless because I need this thing, but the whole time your heart is like, nah, bro, you can't do that.
You knew it the whole time. Yep.
Yeah. So what about a time where following your intuition has led you to something valuable? Have you had any situation like that thus far in your music career?
Ooh, that's a good question. I will say, which I guess kind of segues into something we'll probably talk about. I was working with an artist, and he wanted me to like make some beats for him, and I did. I actually collaborated on a beat with the producer, and got a placement on his project. But I felt like that I should use my oboe to create like a part of the hook on there. And I felt a little weird about it because I was like, people don't do this, like I know that I feel like I can because I'm from a certain place and whatever, but I didn't think that he would really be receptive of it. But he actually was, and it was the first song on his project. The artist's name is A Damn Killer. He's out of Chicago. I don't know if he's affiliated with BeatStar or whatever, but yes, that was actually my first placement with my instrument. I haven't done one since, but that really helps me feel comfortable and confident in using all my abilities, because if you know, you know.
It's that simple. And sometimes it's just like, I think we talk about this on the show a lot, where it's like, okay, you don't have to do too much to a beat. You don't have to be like adding all these layers that don't need to be there, but you really need to trust your gut when it's like, yeah, I'm gonna bring something to the table that's gonna be crazy. Not people asking in the chat, can she freestyle on the oboe?
Yo, actually, I need to go get my oboe tuned. Don't tell nobody. It's really not today.
Okay, well, it was worth an ask. I mean, I tried.
I appreciate that. No, I got you though. Next time.
Yeah, I think that's really dope that you're able to just like trust your gut, add all these elements of who you are into your process and push forth with it. And the people who follow their gut will always be separated from those who don't, because you'll see
it happening. Don't cloud chase.
Don't cloud chase. Hashtag don't cloud chase. That's the tag of this episode.
Oh, I saw somebody say he didn't know oboe could be tuned. No, it after I don't like instruments in general, like the piano, over time it needs to be tuned. Like the screws and the keys get loose and they need to be turned back the right direction. And that's where I'm at right now.
All right. The oboe's on a sabbatical, taking a small break. It'll be back. So what kinds of artists do you endeavor to work with when it's like outside of yourself as an artist? Like what kind of vibe do you need to be able to get something moving?
What kind of vibe, or like
vibe, genre, like what characteristics of an artist? Like
right. I often, when I look at people that I want to work with, it's funny because people say often in the social media age that they hate how it gives us a view of our favorite celebrities, and it's kind of up to close and a little too personal. Mm-hmm. I'm on the opposite end of that. I actually like the fact that we can see how these people are in their everyday lives, because that's something that's important to me. How you are as a person, your morale, your integrity, because I'm a very vibrational person, and I feel like if it's not on the same frequency, then we're not, I don't like to work with people I feel like I can't trust. I don't like to work with people that aren't communicative, because that makes me feel weird. I want to be able to trust that I can send you something. And if I send it to you, you're busy, and it's not that you might be stealing my shit or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to be able to trust you and feel comfortable. Let's see. As far as what genre, I want to really do everything. Like, I have dreams of like playing in a band for Ari Lennox one day on one of her albums with my oboe. I actually plan to like do my own concert one day, like a recital with my own for my own self. I want to work with Herbo. I want to work with Dirk. I want to work with Missy Elliott. So I want to work with everyone, literally, because I love all types of music. So honestly, everybody.
No, I love that. And I think the one thing that all those artists have in common is literally how hard they work.
Absolutely.
And how they're everywhere and nowhere at the same time. I think that's the defining like line of everybody you just mentioned. So that's also pretty dope. What about for yourself? Like, where do you see you as an artist going? What's your dream feature? What's your dream moment?
Okay, I don't want to sound cliche, but I feel like my dream. Okay, I have two. Missy Elliott. Okay, three. My bad. Missy Elliott, Beyonce.
Yes, ma'am.
And Drake. Drake. I said I didn't want to sound cliche, but I'm from Memphis, and we shared that whole, you know what I'm saying? Like, I actually went to
Drake's from everywhere.
Cousins, I know he is though. I went to school with one of his cousins, so like I understand the side of the Memphis in him that, like you said, he's from everywhere. I kind of feel like that about myself too. My mom's side of the family is from DC. I lived there for a couple years when I was younger. My dad's side of the family is from Memphis, so I was actually raised there. I have friends that are in Chicago and went to school in Central Illinois, so I have a lot of like ties from people in Chicago that I'm really close with. I get, you're right, he is from everywhere, and I feel like that also like creates the perfect like two-sided, not even two-sided, but just versatile artists. When you are able to take all your experiences and put them into a whole, and I feel like those three people have definitely mastered that and shown that you can't put them in a box. Definitely Missy Elliott. Like,
Yeah.
She was amazing.
Yeah. And she's
She's amazing.
transcended eras for sure. I think
Absolutely.
another thing, like the commonality, I had a conversation with a friend a few years back, and he had this theory where it was like most artists have about a 7-year run before
Mm-hmm.
they start like dropping off. So when you think of like the Drakes who's been around now for like in the public making music hits for 10 years, Beyonce since we were children, Missy
Yes.
Elliott who's like influenced across so many levels
Yes.
as an artist, as a producer, like all of these things as a vocalist. So I think those are some pretty great people to be in company with for sure.
Yes, I can't wait. I really look up to really all of these artists. But the three that I just named, like you said, I am captivated by them for the longevity, like how they just choose and are somehow are not waiting to, but using all their different life experiences to reinvent themselves in different ways and like elevate at the same time. It's really amazing.
Absolutely. All those places that you just mentioned where you've been or grew up in. So of all of those things, what have you learned about yourself through being part of these like ecosystems in these different cities who obviously have like really strong music backgrounds, like Illinois,
Right.
this, yeah.
Um, I I guess I have realized about myself and really just humanity as a whole. We're all connected by vibrations and music and experiences, and I feel like it's really interesting for us to be able to like travel and get to know people from different backgrounds because it keeps us tied together as humans.
Mhm.
And we all express ourselves through some type of art. Whether if it's just us humming, us snapping, or making a caption on Instagram to our favorite song, like it showed me that all these different places are historically good places, and they've also been through a lot of pain. And I feel like what has helped them break through that pain and become these monumental cities with these great people that come from them is like the music that happens and that is put out by these people that come from these places. So
Yeah.
I'm just very grateful that I've got to see the different like sides and backgrounds of all different places because we're all the same.
Yeah.
So,
I think there's so many like you bring really great points or like you draw like very specific lines into the way you think. I think the one thing for that is the tenacity of like everybody from these places. Like there's so many
absolutely.
different experiences and so many things that you kind of just have to push through. So I
Mhm.
agree. Eighth Life Loves that you said we're all connected by vibrations.
Yes.
How have you made moving around and living in these spaces work for you throughout the pandemic? Like has that had any specific barring on you or have you been able to move around? What's that look?
Um, okay, well, I did make that face, but I've actually been traveling since like January. I've it hasn't it hasn't really me personally, but because it's on a world spectrum, it has made me have to like reconsider some things and like wait for some things. Like the video I just shot last weekend was supposed to be shot in like May. And I had to wait like 3 months on my videographer because he has other video things going on, and studio time sometimes it hasn't necessarily been too much of a headache, and I'm grateful for that, but I can tell that it's overall affecting us as a whole. I'm hoping this will be over soon.
Yeah.
Whatever that fucking means.
Listen, like I had this conversation with my friend the other day where I'm just like, yo, we're at a point in this pandemic now where we're gonna really start seeing people sink or swim. It's
Absolutely.
it's about to get really crazy. Like I'm feeling these energies. I don't know if it's just because being in Toronto, the winter's coming, the weather's changing. I'm like
Yeah.
we're feeling it, but I just know that a lot of people haven't practiced holding their heads. And it's
No, absolutely. Yeah, I agree with you. I feel the same way. It's like a kind of on edge feeling like, what's about to happen?
yeah, yeah, it's nuts. But I guess back to the music, two questions because somebody asked a really good question in the chat, which I will ask. But first, what is the process? What is your process? What does your work process look like? What does a day in the life of creating look like for you?
You know, as much of a planned and organizational person that I am, I don't necessarily have those type of restraints with my music, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I feel like it, if it makes sense. Like honestly,
Yeah.
whenever I feel like it, I have learned throughout this process of the pandemic that oh, I'm so sorry. That was great.
Okay. Okay.
Somebody just said something about COVID, and I don't need that energy on my phone. Anyways, when I feel like it's very important to honor ourselves when we don't feel like it,
Mm-hmm.
because it makes it that much easier to push out and create when we do.
Mm-hmm.
I went through periods of time where I haven't touched my laptop in like 2 months.
Wow.
I just haven't felt like it. And then it's been times like today, recently, I've been in the mood these past couple of weeks where I feel like writing or making a beat almost every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's just important for us to really what I try to do is what's the word? Monitor myself and figure out how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Go from there. Usually it starts with me making a beat. Sometimes I will sample, sometimes I'll just, create something from scratch. But I don't necessarily feel like I have like a strict process when I am in the midst of making the music. It's
Mm-hmm.
the process beforehand and me evaluating like how I feel and do I feel like doing this. Sometimes I think I feel like doing it, and I've opened my laptop a lot of times and like started on a beat and like I don't feel like doing this anymore. I'm gonna start again tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it kind of just, I feel like you have to really be in tune with yourself and understand how you are feeling at the moment so
Mm-hmm.
you can have the best creative process.
Absolutely. And it's better than trying to force yourself through something and like not liking what you do or
I've done
setting.
that before too. It sucks.
Yeah, you don't want to set the tone for the next day where it's like, damn, I just had this like really shitty day and I have to come back
Mhm.
and try again. Like, I definitely believe in honoring yourself, which
Absolutely.
is a perfect segue because Live and Tell wants to know, how do you go about setting and completing goals?
Ooh, that's a good question. I recently just started doing this last year. I wrote my first song last year. Fun fact. The year anniversary of me dropping it is actually coming up in like a couple days. It's
Oh,
called Feelings. Make sure you guys stream that everywhere. I I'm sorry. Can we repeat the question? I just really lost my train of thought in the midst.
how do you go about setting and completing your goals?
Okay, right. Okay. So when I released Feelings, I was like, okay, I got to do this video because a lot of people really liked it, and I was like, okay, I guess I could keep doing this. I didn't expect to have much of a feedback because people just expected me to be the music person. I was always known as the person who was in band, the band geek, whatever, and I never wanted to sing in front of anybody. So that was my first goal. I'm like, okay, I can write this song, and I used my birthday as a tracker to create like milestones and goals in between each year so that I'm not just stagnant, because a year can fly by in the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
So I use my birthdays as trackers to at least do one significant thing. If maybe not even necessarily a song or a video, but maybe writing or, it's all a process and it can't all be done at one time. So I try to break down the process into like, okay, well, I want to do a video. All right, well, that means I need to contact a videographer. I need to figure out a budget. I need to figure out what's the theme going to be. So I try to like go from my big goals and work my way backwards within the year frame that I give myself to get to my one big goal. But with your big goal, it's a lot of little goals in between. So I guess in layman's terms, I try to use my birthday as my tracker every year, make sure we're doing something great, elevating in some type of way. And yeah, just break it down and, systems from there because it's just me. I don't have like a team or entourage or anything. So it's important to make sure that these things are really thoroughly planned out and planned.
Yeah, I think that sounds like it's a good like benchmark so that you could look back on your own year. Sorry, I need to plug in my laptop. You
Oh,
can look back
good.
on
That's
your,
good.
you have to look back on your own year and just like take an account for what you've been able to accomplish. So I think it's a good tool. Papa wants to know, do you upload your beats to YouTube at all?
I do not. The reason I do not, I'm just a little scared about the copyright thing. I don't want anybody just, I
Yeah.
haven't. I thought about it, and I did think about doing YouTube. I don't think you can. I think you can be successful on it. It's a lot of like look at Cash Money AP. It's a lot of people who have been successful on the YouTube side of beats.
Mhm.
Now me personally, it was BeatStars was my YouTube. So I just when I was in the process of being like, well, I could do BeatStars and YouTube. BeatStars was going really well, so I didn't even bother to do YouTube.
Fair.
So I actually don't.
Okay. I think a lot of the folks that I get to talk to, a lot of our lovely roster, all use YouTube as like a backtrack. And I mean, you could always talk to the team about the content ID stuff if that's something that you really want to deal with in the future.
Definitely.
But yeah, like for you to say that you were using BeatStars as your YouTube, like to stick with one thing isn't a problem. It's about how you grow it. I'm wondering, do you have any tips on how you get your BeatStars out there, with the exception of like, you know, people reaching out to you?
Tags.
Mhm.
Tags. Tags help so much. A lot of what I would do before I upload beats is I would see what will pop up on the homepage of BeatStars. Like what beats are trending, who is trending, what are people searching. That is a major key to actually getting your stuff heard and people actually coming to you. Because yeah, we can put it on the platform, but like we need people to hear it, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like tags were really my major thing. I would I sometimes go in and change them, you know, like the tags help a lot because people actually do search those.
Yeah, I tags for me, and I say this all the time, so a lot of you guys know, I'm sorry if it's a broken record, but especially when I was playlisting, like for me to open a beat and I think I'm about to go hear a little baby beat and it's an Ariana Grande pop beat, like that shit threw me off. I'm like, why would you tag this wrong? Because
don't do that.
in this one particular moment, I'm looking for the specific type of thing, and had I been looking for what the beat actually was, that may have been playlisted, or I may have been forwarded to somebody. You know what I mean? So don't eliminate that opportunity to get seen.
Yeah, because it actually is somebody looking for Ariana Grande beats, and they'll find yours. You know?
Exactly.
So, yeah, for sure.
I understand trying to get like, I guess like the pick of the litter, or having a bunch of people trying to find you all at once. And I respect it, but also at the same time, it's like, yo, you're diverting people from their plan. So
absolutely,
definitely make sure you're tagging. Do you have any specific methodologies as far as how you tag? Are you using genres or artists, or what is it?
I do a little bit of both, and I like to check what's like trending at the moment of me about to upload the track. So usually, or I'll go off of like if an album just recently dropped, like today and this week, probably for the next 2 months would be a good time to tag Kanye and Drake and CLB and Donda. So you know, just things that are really current. Sometimes I randomly tag things that are going on like society wise. But often looking at what's trending, because it does tell us on the tab, that helps a lot at the exact moment.
Yeah, and I see Live and Tell said that that's a hard one because they want to do their own sound, but might not fit a tight beat. How do you get around this? Get as close to it as you can. Like a genre will help. Like if you can't do anything, a genre, a mood is good. Like people are looking up chill beats or study beats or hard beats or sad beats, things like that. It doesn't have to be an artist type beat. I think the artist thing is helpful when it's like, it's just a search tool.
I say that I ask people the artist thing because just fun fact, and just in all honesty, a lot of people aren't really doing music as seriously as they think they are. So it helps me to understand them as an artist more when I'm like, okay, so what artist do you consider yourself to, you know, because it helps me more so to understand the direction to go in, because people actually, they don't know who they sound like.
Exactly. You know? They know what they want to sound like.
Exactly.
Or the perks of being that person that they want.
Exactly.
So I guess just before we start playing some of your beats, I'd love to know if you have any, like, you've been dropping gems and giving all kinds of advice this whole interview, but I would love to know if you have one particular piece of advice as a producer or an artist that you think everybody else should know or carry with them. It could be technical, it could be spiritual. There's no
keep going. That sounds real cliche, but like, no, literally keep going. I remember I was a little girl, and I would, after every like recital that I had when I had a solo, whether it was for my oboe or my piano, older people would walk up to me and they would be like, You are so talented, and I wish that I would have kept doing music when I was younger. Please don't stop. And keep going, because it'll get to be times where you feel like you're discouraged, or you feel like you're not getting better, or you feel like everything you make is trash, or nobody is paying attention to your beats. Keep going. And the more you put into your craft and you get to those 10,000 hours, it'll really pay off. So just don't stop. Don't give up on yourself.
I'm inclined to agree. You know, like you guys in the chat, you've seen many an episode of The Deal, and how many folks have said, yo, I was going to quit everything, and the next day I got my first placement. Like,
keep going.
Yeah, you got to just keep at it. There's a million people that want to do the same thing. So, like, you got to outwork everybody, basically.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So let's get into this set of beats that you've provided me with. Is there anything that you want to start with? Like, we don't have to play it in order. We can. It's up to you.
No, you can actually just play however they come up.
Okay. All right, y'all. So you know the deal. If you're new here, you want to make sure that you are tell us who you hear on these beats. Give us like a funny type beat kind of energy. I know Cloud9's in the chat, so I'm sure he'll come up with a couple. No pressure to do that though, Jason. I'm just using you as an example. Make sure you rate the beat out of 5 emotes. Thank you, Low Wave. I was just about to call on you. I love a Tim Boot emoji, but you guys can use whatever you gotta use to get your point across. Let's see. Let's see Wagwan in this list here. Oh, also, I don't know if I had told you, but you gotta mute your mic while we play these things, please and thank you.
Oh, who, me too?
Yes. But you can come on after and obviously break down the beat. All right, let's go.
Kae Cash beat.
Thank you for coming through on that, Cloud9. Now, Miss Mia,
Yes.
do you have any stories behind this beat, like why you made it or what the energy was?
I actually was in the midst of a breakup. And that beat, actually, really, the title is self-explanatory. I felt like the bells in the background, the counter melody made me really feel like this is it. Like, you know, I'm free. So that's kind of like that song, like a really like kind of fun, like chill, like, you know, last chapter, moving on type of beat. And I feel like it's fun. So
yeah, it was fun. It was a little bop. We got Told You I Would Call type beat. Live and Tell said Young Thug type beat. I just feel it. Low Wave gave you 4 Tim Boots, and then somebody who's doing something else, and I don't know what that it's looks like thrust. I don't know. That boy would have said out of my life type beat. Period. Let's go.
Ooh.
All right, so let's play the second one.
Kae Cash beat.
Now that was sweet. Oh, you gotta. There we go.
Yes.
Vibe out with your main squeeze type beat.
Mm-hmm.
Type beats. So glad I got real ones in my life type beat. I like that one.
Yes, I like that one too.
5 5 wave emojis. I was just like, what is this called? Going to eat ice cream with the shoddy type vibe. Unbothered type beat. Shy glizzy type beat. We win in. Says live and tell. Love the old piano vibe in this track. Little Yachty for sure. Lots of feedback today, guys. I appreciate all the
I appreciate all the feedback.
Yeah, that was a summer day out with my homies type of energy.
Yes.
I
Yes.
really like that one. All right. Next. You wanna go next or
Yeah, you can do that one next.
all right, let's go.
It's only family. Kae Cash beat.
Now I meant to ask you if you're playing any instruments on these beats. This one specifically.
Yes, now that one I am not. But my friend Shelby plays the guitar. She's amazing. And she was just doing a freestyle type of session. She was playing on her guitar, and I was like, actually, could you send me that? And I cut it up, and yeah, that's where we got that beat from. Shout out to my friend Shelby.
Yeah, you can tell that there's like an actual instruments on it. Let me see. Kodak would kill this on a beach vibe.
That'd be dope.
70s vibe rock in the trap type beat, dreamy type beat. She said she was gonna get a gallon of milk and never came back type beat.
Oh, that's sad.
Fire. Not floating on cloud 9. Leave cloud 9 out of this, y'all. Low wave. I know Jason's sitting there like, what the hell, brother? All right. Next.
It's only family. Kae Cash beat.
It's giving emotion.
Yes.
My heart was hurting a little bit.
It's caught in the sky. So that's definitely what I was trying to do, portray with that one. A lot of my beats, most of like my whole ideal is like that girls can make beats bump too. So like I like a lot of hard bass with soft melodies.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a nice paradox that I feel like makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it went so smooth together. Someone said rest in peace to a legend, but this is a Juice WRLD type beat.
Oh, don't make me cry.
Yeah.
Well,
Bufo says he wants to hear Big Sean on this. We got 5 Tim Boots from Low Wave. Eighth Life. One thing I have to say is all of these beats are a total vibe. Can really feel the emotions with them. Melancholy with a large glimmer of hope. And 5
Thank you.
emojis. Very dope. Thank you for the feedback today,
Thank you,
guys.
guys.
They're
Yes.
being so sweet. Yo, the way that they be in here roasting some people sometimes, it's like, hey, since you guys are being very kind, I appreciate
I
it.
mean, I'm legit. Look.
All right, so 2 more to go. Ceilings is next. Let's go.
Kae Cash Beat. I'm always trying to wait for like the perfect bar to stop it at. Like,
I know.
it's hard. Let me see. We got Dat Boy Butter says you valid. Bufo says you're certified.
Thank
Roots
you.
Got Beat says your beats are fire, my girl 100.
Thank you so much.
8th Light said a turning up and shining on my haters type beat. Dat Boy Butter said look at me now type beat. Got a lot of Bufo says, what are your favorite drum kits and do you have any sound kits?
I'm working on sound kits. As far as my favorite drum kits, I really like what have I been using lately? I've been using Super Mario's lately. I really like that one. I really like Sunny Digitals. I like Southsides. Let me think. I feel like those are the ones that I can think of off the top, but like I have so many sounds that like it honestly just depends on what I'm doing. But those are like as far as the type of beats I've been making lately, those are the sounds that I've been using from those kits.
Hope that answers your question, Bufo. All right, so this is your final beat on this playlist. So any last words regarding this set of music here?
This one is all drums, so I hope that you'll enjoy it. It's my favorite beat ever so far.
Ooh. All right, let's go.
Kae Cash Beat.
That was like a familiar, like a lotto kind of like that's something where somebody has to come in and give like the layer of everything else. Yeah. They want to know what do you use to make your beats, and Bufo's trying to place bets in the chat saying he got $20 on FL. So
he's right. I use FL Studio. I do.
Well, y'all better pay up.
Pay up.
Pay up. Pay Bufo. That was the bet.
Keep buying boots.
whoa. And Cloud9's comment where it was like, hey, type.
Yep.
Tiger Backwoods said it almost has a sprinkle of Yeezus type sound, which is
Don't make me.
pretty close. Yeah, I'd say that. All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing your beats with us today and all of your lovely knowledge and your spirit and your energy. I'm so happy to have another girl to talk to for once.
Yes, we're gonna have to do this again.
Yeah, we will. Any final words? Anywhere you want to like shout out or let people know where to find you? I had tagged your BeatStars in your Instagram. I'll put it back up on the screen.
Yes, so make sure you follow me. If you follow me on my Instagram, you should be able to find everything else that I have coming soon. I have an EP coming out. I'm on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, everything that you guys can possibly stream music on. I am there. Kae Cash, KAECASH on my music platforms. As far as Instagram and stuff, that's Kae Cash Beats. I'm on Twitter as Kae Cash Beats. But make sure you guys search me. Thank you so much for the feedback on the beats. I really appreciate y'all for tuning in and checking me out. And it was really nice talking to y'all and getting to meet you. And I hope to collab with some of y'all real soon. Hit me up.
Yes, I was just gonna say, are you open to collabs? Because 9 times out of 10, these guys are gonna be in the DMs asking for something.
For sure.
That's awesome. I'm glad you are. Thank you so much again for hanging out with us today. Wishing you the best of luck with everything. Good luck on your EP.
Thank you.
And shout out to y'all for hanging out in the chat. Don't forget to tune in next Tuesday for the Battle of the Type Beats for the Drake versus Kanye Type Beats. You can submit at www.beatstars.world/opportunities. And I think that's it for today. So everybody be safe, wash your hands, social distance, and get to work. Best of luck, everybody.
See you guys. Bye.